إلهي سبحانه وتعالى ومهد سكاله كلن كان غالي إن سوى فجي وحان ربا أنو كلي أين علماء ذا كسر دوية مواضيع ذا يكون كلا هنا هذين شيء لو هذا الشيخ حهرينا يا شيخ محمد علي ديني أو حكاه الله التعاون على البر حكاه الله التعاون على البر wanaagga la isu kaashado oo ku baxaysa luqadda Ingiriiska maadaama dad Ingiriiska u baahan ay jiraan sheekha labaad wuxuu ka hadlayaa ayna al-mas'uuliyya oo mas'uuliyaddii qof walba inaga mid ah mas'uuliyad baa saareed mas'uuliyaddii away wuxuu ka hadlayaa marka sheekh محمد علي diini baan ku soo dhaweynayaa si uu mawduuca inoogu faahfaahiyo insha Allah ta'ala isoo waqtigana soo koobay falyatafadal mashkuura
الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. All praises to Allah, the Lord of the universe, who's given all of us the great honor to gather and to inform each other what's for our own benefit. I speak to you today as an older brother for some of you, perhaps younger for some, and perhaps around the same neighborhood for many. I speak to you as someone who had traveled extensively across the world, who had seen great people in life, who had seen people who were not so great. I speak to you as someone who deeply cares about the welfare and the well-being of each and every one of you. I speak to you as someone who knows the importance of having someone to stand by you in life, someone to give you a shoulder to lean on when you need one and a hand to hold as you walk through the boulevards and the narrow streets of life. I speak to you as someone who wishes all the khair in the world upon each and every one of you. I am a son, I am a brother, I am a friend, I have students, I also have teachers. I've got people younger than I am and I've got people older than I am. And so I speak to you as someone who is just like any one of you, who wishes to tell you the few things that I was able to see during the course of my life, inshallah, so that we may benefit from each other. And by the way, for the MP and the other guests, inshallah, I know you guys have some commitments. Whenever you feel free, inshallah, you're more than welcome to go ahead. Last week I sat here and I've mentioned a hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Al-khalqu iyalullah wa ahabbul khalqi ilallahi man ahsana ila ayali. That every creation on the face of this earth, the small bird, the wild beast, the buffalo, the human being, white and black, American, African and Asian, every living being, every tree depends on Allah. There is nothing of any kind that happens without the permission of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ وَأَحَبُّ الْخَلْقِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Now, existing in life is one thing, and being a useful contribution to society is a whole different ballgame. And I would sit here today and argue that the problem of Muslims today is that we exist, but we don't contribute what we should have to the societies that we either live with or our own societies. وَأَحَبُّ الْخَلْقِ إِلَى اللَّهِ. The most beloved human being, the most beloved living being to Allah is man ahsana ila ayali, he who does the most to his dependents, to his kids, to his wife, to his family, to his society, to his country. Because life is best lived in service to others. And to be able to not only make yourself happy, but to make others happy is a noble act in the human being. It reminds me of the story, you know, the three men who were walking in the woods and it started raining and they went into a cave. And after some time, a big rock comes and closes up the door. And they tried everything to remove that rock, but they weren't able to do so. And then one of them said, you know what, why don't we each ask Allah by mentioning something that we have done purely for His sake? And we say, oh Allah, if I have done what I have done for you on that day, please take this rock away from us so that we can exit and go home. And I want you to listen with what one of the men said. He said, Allahumma inni kana li ujra. Oh Allah, I used to have people work for me. I used to have employees. I used to pay them every week. فَأَعْطَيْتُهُمْ حَقَّهُمْ غَيْرَ رَجُلٍ وَاحِدٍ. And I would give them their money except this one man. He worked hard, he was a decent man, his principles were nice, his philosophy of coming to work on time and work ethics were excellent. One day he left before he came to collect his money. And oh Allah, I did everything in my power to look for that man, but I wasn't able to find him. And his money was left with me, and I said to myself, what should I do with this money? Either I take this money for myself, number one. Number two, I leave this money for him. It's not mine, it's his, I leave it for him. Number three, I take this money and I work with it on my own benefit. Or I take this money and I do some work with it and save it and keep it for that man. If I find him one day, I'll give him back what belongs to him. And he said, oh Allah, I'm going to share with you a secret that I have not shared with many people in my life. I have done this for your sake, period. Allah, I took that money, I invested in it, I multiplied it, millions and millions. And years later, the man came to me and he said, sir, I don't think you remember me, but I used to work for you. And one day I had left without collecting my money. I'm in desperate need. The desperation, the levels of desperation of my life are staggering. If you don't remember me, that's okay, but I want you to know that I used to work for you and you owe me some money. If you want to give it to me, Jazakallahu khairan. If you don't remember me and you don't want to give it to me, then I understand because it's been so long. And the man said, sir, whatever that you see, كل ما ترى من الإبل والبقر والغنم من أجرك. Look out into the field. You see all the camels there. You see all the cows and the sheep. Everything that you see in this field is from your own money. And this brother was in desperate need. He said, please don't make fun of me. Don't play with my emotions, my brother. He said, sir, I'm not playing with your emotions. See, when you left, I could have taken your money. But I said, instead of taking his money, I'm going to invest his money for him in something and give it to him when he came back. He said, Allah, I did that because I simply wanted to make him happy. أخ المسلم وأخت المسلمة, in life, one of التعاون على البر is to be able to make someone else happy in life. I speak to you on a personal level. When my mother is happy, automatically it makes me happy. When someone who is very dear and near to my heart is happy, automatically it generates joy in me. When I see someone content in life, when I see my young niece or young nephew, when I see a person who means a lot to me waking up in the morning on his way to work, on her way to work, on his way to school, on her way to school, automatically it makes me happy. Why? Because I know life cannot be just about me. Why? Because I know that someone had sacrificed a great deal for me to be who I am. Especially our parents, and especially our mothers. You know Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, you know all the troubles that his mother had gone through. You know all the pain that she had gone through. You know everything that went wrong. And when Allah wanted to tell him, to tell Musa, look, I want to remind you what your mother went through because I want you to be obedient to her. He said in Surah Taha, أنقض فيه في التابوت فاغض فيه في اليم فليلقه اليم بالساحل يأخذه عدو لي وعدو له وألقيت عليك محبة مني. Musa, do you not remember that when your mother was crying every night, that when she was sad and depressed because she is missing her own son who means more than the world to her, وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ, I have bestowed upon you, I have covered you with مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي, with my love and my mercy and kindness. And this is a different type of love. Al-Mahabba is the type of love that's between, for instance, the Shaykh and Allah. The Shaykh and Allah. The type of love between me and that brother, even though I don't know him. But the human romantic love is often the word used as ashq. لا وقف as عاشقي, لا وقف as جعل عليك, right? محبة وجعل قنئ. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله. And so Allah tells Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي. O Musa, did I not cover you? Did I not bestow upon you the cloak and the veil of my love, of my caring? And did I not watch you grow in the house of Fir'aun under my watch? And when Musa alayhi salam went to get the Torah from Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, and he finished everything, and he was coming back to his people, he said, Allah, before I go, tell me one thing. Tell me one thing about my life that I should be very careful about. Tell me something that I should deeply be concerned about before I go back to my people. Allah gave him all the commands. And then Allah Jalla Jalaluhu told Musa alayhi salam, Musa, take great care of your mother, لِأَنَّ رِضَاهَا رِضَايَا. Take great care of your mother because her delight and her happiness and her pleasure and her contentment is mine also. أخ المسلم وأخت المسلمة. There are a few basic things that we all should know about life. That is number one, nothing is going to be permanent. Everything that you see here today is going to leave. And everyone that you see here today is not going to be in Nairobi for the rest of his life or her life. Some of you are going to get jobs in other parts of the world. Some of you are going to become mothers and fathers. Some of you are going to become grandfathers and grandmothers soon, inshallah ta'ala. Some of you are going to be responsible for many other people. Some of you are going to be great friends to others. You know, in life, we should be motivated by achieving and not by beating. I say this all the time. Because I see, as I travel across the world, in America, in Europe, in Australia, I see young people who are going through hard times in life. You know why? Because they want to compare their lives to someone else. You want to be happy because Allah is going to make you happy. وَكَأَيٍّ مِّن دَابَةٍ لَا تَحْمِلُ رِزْقَهَا اللَّهُ يَرْزُقُهَا وَإِيَّاكُمْ. Whatever that you're going to get today is already being decreed by Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. There should be nothing of any kind that you should be worried about. At-ta'awun al-birr means more than any other for us Somali people especially. I told you last week when I was here, I had a chance to go to the Dadaab. And I saw what our very own brothers, sisters, Somali men and women, young boys and young girls were going through. And it pains me that I'm not able to help all of them. And I know that you can help all of them. But there are some things that we should do. At-ta'awun al-birr starts with making dua for those who are going through troubles in life. The Prophet ﷺ said that the qadr of Allah can only change with the power of dua. If you see someone going through some troubles, you pray for them and you ask Allah to uncover the distress that's upon them. Number one. Number two, make dua for yourselves. And when you make dua, do it like the Prophets ﷺ used to do. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam said, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَلِوَالِدَيَّ وَلِمَنْ دَخَلَ بَيْتِيَ مُؤْمِنًا وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. He could have said, oh Allah, forgive me, that's it. He could have said, oh Allah, forgive my wife and my husband and my mother, that's it. But he said, oh Allah, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي, forgive my sins. وَلِوَالِدَيَّ, my father and my mother, Allah. They have gone through trouble. They raised me. They gave me food when they had none. They clothed me when they were naked. They gave me water when they're thirsty. Right? وَلِوَالِدَيَّ, oh Allah, forgive my mother and my father. And not only that, because that's my close family, وَلِمَنْ دَخَلَ بَيْتِيَ, whoever comes to my house. Whoever comes to my house of faith, men and women. Or Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, رَبِّ اجْعَلْ هَذَا الْبَلَدَ آمِنًا وَارْزُقْ أَهْلَهُ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Oh Allah, give security to the people of this entire city. That's not just his family. That's not just his tribe. So at-ta'awun al-birr starts with your tongue. It starts with the words that you want to speak. So you say, there's a beautiful dua in Surah Al-Furqan.